On today's Which Word of the Day, Kevin, I just know you're going to love this one because it is the Grand Grimoire, also known as Le Dragon Rouge or the Red Dragon. So this is a black magic gothic grimoire. The reason I chose it is it dates back to, does it sound familiar? 1522 France, or they say maybe 1521 or 1421. But a lot of people think this is a crock of shit. This is kind of like the French's Necronomicon, where they're like, somebody wrote this in the 18th century. They're just saying that it dates all the way back. So people think it was actually written in like 1702 or 1750. But it's like this old magic book that goes into like satanic writings. It derives from like the King Solomon, like from the Bible. I guess one of the spells in it is like for summoning Lucifer and being like, hey dude, hey Hawkeye, hey fuck me daddy Satan, want to make a deal?
Yeah.
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published material in the Charmed universe and decide how it fits into the grand narrative of the TV series. Greetings, Spellwedders. Welcome back to Words of the Witches for our 100th episode of all. Oh my god! Centennial Charm!
Cool.
I'm Kevin, your resident Charmed resource.
I'm Sean, and I just love comic books.
And Nugent is back.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry, I cut you off. I thought I was going to introduce myself. Yes, I'm back, and I'm so honored to be here, especially for the 100th. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
You are a very honored guest, Nugent.
I'm so excited.
You were on for the Gorgons be Gorgons.
I was.
So what's been happening since then?
Oh my God, what's been happening since then? Been working on several independent projects. I'm working on a Wizard of Oz documentary, a couple of animated projects, and some good independent projects we're working on right now.
So Ryan J's gonna be very excited.
Yes, I actually I actually spoke to Ryan on Sunday. We had a Zoom. So, I'm helping Ryan on his project, and Ryan's awesome. Shout out to Ryan J, good friend. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. He lives here with me in my town.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I have to come visit both of you guys at some point.
Yeah, it'd be great. See his Wizard of Oz room.
Yes, I know. And meet Toto.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Yeah.
We're totally off topic, but it's great.
Totally off topic, yeah. We're going from Charmed to Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. So we had a poll last week. Do you remember what it was, Sean?
Favorite moments of the podcast, Kevin. Thank you for asking. Oh, I'm sorry. What is favorite moments of the podcast?
Oh, like Jeopardy again. I had people send in their top favorite moments of the podcast so far in the last 100 episodes. Technically, we have over 100 if you count the bonus episodes. There's like 17 bonus episodes, but 100 like main episodes. So what did people say? Well, Sean Porrett, I wonder who that is, said, I love making Kevin laugh. It means so much to me to support on this pod with him. Yay! Serox 1987-000, who was on the As Puck Would Have It episode, the novels, he said, you guys laughing like mad monkeys and me getting invited to guest for one episode.
Like mad monkeys.
Yeah.
Back to Wizard of Oz.
Always,
yeah, there you go.
Always. Yeah.
Fly! Fetch me that farm, girl. Okay. Orange AA Aaron says, all the way back in episode 49, the comic panel where the baby looked like an old man. That was issue 1 of the Zenoscope run.
I remember that. That was hysterical.
Mm-hmm. Fiddy418 says, I love the powers definition, so all of our power plays, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Aloeda Gabriel says, "You naked." Which I don't remember because he was on the podcast. He was on the Picture Perfect episode, which coincidentally is about paintings and stuff, just like this comic is. But I don't think I was naked when we recorded that. But maybe I was.
I'm also glad by listening to a podcast that gets you naked. That just makes sense.
Yeah. Antler says, "The Brewing Storm," the novel. Always wanted to read it, but can't be fucked. So I was happy to finally know all about it. Season 10 Fs with Michael Bailey Smith convo was super fun. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So we got some fun stuff.
I gotta say, my favorite moment of all 100 episodes was the Let Gorgons Be Gorgons episode, of course, because I was there.
Obviously.
Besides that, I thought the episode where you had Pat on talking about, after you finished season 10 and kind of really getting into the nitty gritty, that was a great episode, super powerful and super insightful. So that was great.
Yeah, that was really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our best friend, Pat Shand.
Yeah.
I had a few other things in here that people just wrote. Just like Pat Shand saying, "So fun to see Words of the Witch's take on my Charmed season 10 run." And then he's talking about the Michael Bailey Smith episode where he did the voice. Said, "This episode is very special. It features Michael Bailey Smith, who played Balthazar on the show, reading the lines I wrote for the character, a beautiful moment." So
very
fun
cool.
stuff like that. I love. AJ says, "This is when we started the comics episodes. This is very entertaining. It feels as if RuPaul Drake show, and it only focuses on Charmed."
Now, which one of us is the Michelle Visage?
Obviously you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
too.
Sean, you're
Obviously.
Michelle. Sean, you're Michelle.
I thought this would be fun too, to go over our top 10 listened to episodes.
Oh,
In order.
nice.
So this is as of this moment. I'm looking at the Spotify. It says, I'm going to start from the bottom. So number 10 is Comics number 0, the source book. 291 plays.
Wow.
And that's the only one in the comics.
No way.
That's in the top 10. I know, rude.
Wow.
Of course, they are newer, but still.
It's because you brought me on this show and I just took everything to hell.
Number 9 is Chapter 11, Charmed Again, the Charmed Again novel with James Mansfield. That is 299 plays. Then, this is interesting. Number 8 is the novel retrospective. So the one where I went over all of the novels of the season. Everything we covered at the end of this novel season. So people who didn't listen to all the novel episodes, but they wanted to know about them all, just hear that retrospective. Then we had a bonus episode, Hallow Manor Moment, or the one where I went into the manor and interviewed the owner.
That's cool. That's really cool. That would make sense.
So that's 343. And then we're just kind of like on a streak. We have Voodoo Moon is right in the middle there. Then Whispers from the Past. Then The Crimson Spell. So Kiss of Darkness was number 3. Number 2 was the introduction episode where it was just me like for 5 minutes talking about what the podcast was going to be.
Oh.
That has 804 listens. And then the number 1 is the very first episode with James Mansfield, The Power of 3 book, with 1,521 views.
Very cool.
Wow.
Congrats. Happy 100.
Yeah. Get it, James?
Yeah. Which is weird because that first episode too is like my least favorite, just mostly because I was so mad at the audio quality. I was like, it's ruined.
I remember.
Oh, I was so mad. And so it still is very embarrassing to me. YouTube has some plays too, but that's another day. But I can tell you my number 1 YouTube video is my All Hell Breaks Loose, the one that Sultan made, Shiny Antics, when he made the All Hell Breaks Loose part 2 kind of mock-up, and it was me reacting to it. That has 10,800 views.
Well, I have a question for Kevin and a question for you, Sean. Each one of you, which is your favorite episode? That if you could look back, what is like your favorite that you've done?
I would probably say you mentioned it last week, Kevin,
Yeah.
but the Leprechaun episode with Tobias. I was
Magically
just in
malicious.
tears. Yeah, magically malicious.
Hilarious. It's a fun one. That was a fun one for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he knows how
obviously
to push my
the
buttons.
interviews. It's just that Irish accent and then the dialogue that Pat wrote combined. Hysterical. I really do like my Legacy of Merlin episode too. I thought that was fun. The novel with Ben
Cool.
Midler. That's the one where we did we put Disney characters against like Disney villains against Charmed villains and see who would win. We played a game at the end, which is pretty fun. Nugent wanted to talk about something, so you can bring that up now.
Oh, you're gonna get right into it. Okay. I have been poking at Kevin, poking at him. I was like, listen, okay. I was like, we should do a Charmed rewatch podcast, okay? Coming at it from, because I truly, and I'm gonna get like excommunicated from the Charmed fandom. I loved it. I really did, okay? And I know maybe Kevin wasn't that big of a fan. I don't know. And I think it'd be really interesting to come at it from two angles. And spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it, in the end, the finale, right? Like, they tied it back to the original. They made it a universe too, right? A multiverse. So starting the series fresh from that point of view, you could draw parallels. You can really get into it. And I think it would be really interesting to do a Charmed rewatch podcast. Kevin.
yeah. And I was wanted you to say that because I wanted to see what Sean would think.
So I am in full support, Nugent. I think if you're gonna hate on something, Kevin, you need to watch it.
There you go. There you go. Exactly.
That's how I feel with Twilight. I hate on Twilight all the time, and I read all those stupid books, so I have reason and backup knowledge on why I hate those books. You need to do this.
See, my biggest fear though is like, is it gonna be torturous for me? Like, am I gonna be just like,
love it?
I don't know. I'm not gonna poo-poo on it completely.
You said poo-poo.
But I mean, yes, I'm curious, but scared.
Fear's good. No need to fear, right? Just, it would be fun. And I've been DMing him. I was like, I haven't stopped thinking about this. You should do this with me. The three of us. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be so fun. So consider it.
Oh wait, I have to do it too?
Yeah, if you want to.
Kevin, this is a terrible idea. You shouldn't do it.
So, I don't know. I mean, maybe when, I don't know. I have to be like less busy.
So yeah, don't say no just yet. Just think about it. We could do it. Sean, if you don't want to do it, then then I'll do it with Kevin and you could be in my role. We'll bring you on as a guest. And I think that'll be so fun.
You were giving me very like Barbus vibes because you're like, fear is good, fear is great. I'm like, whoa.
All right, well, let's do this. Silence.
Okay.
Let's get on with this comic book, this issue of the day. It is 1,000 Deaths, issue 4. It was published June 21st, 2017. Written by Erica Schultz, illustrated by Maria Sanapo, colored by Heartwork Studios, lettered by Tom Napolitano, and edited by Anthony Marquez. We have some covers. So there's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The big flamey skull head on it with burning eyes. I don't know what that, like, evil. It's like someone burning to death. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, kind of looks like a burning alien head. It's weird.
Yeah. Fire all around. But we have our sisters in the front, and they all have like little balls of something, different colored balls. Nugent, do you know where these episodes are from? These pictures are from?
Yes, I do. I can tell you where Paige is from and where Phoebe is from. Enter the Demon season 4.
Yeah, season 4, episode 4.
Piper is from. I recognize the top that she's wearing, but I can't place the episode? As soon as you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah, duh.
It's 702, the Bear Witch Project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's stills where she's like in magic school and she's wearing this top and she's like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's where those are from. It's always fun, like seeing these covers, like where they get these images from. Do you reckon, what was it? I think it was issue 2 where they took a picture from the courtship of Wyatt's father and completely changed Phoebe's hairstyle.
Yeah. I mean, can I be slightly critical? Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. I don't particularly love what Dynamite did with their covers for this run, because at least with the Zenescope ones, you know, they were inspired a lot by stills and whatnot. I feel like a lot of times with these comics, they just kind of did like Photoshop and a quick filter and threw them on a flaming
really
head
easy.
background. Real easy. That's my gripe with these covers.
And that's what the cover A's. Those were the Joe Caroni covers. They did have the cover B's that Maria drew, but they were all very similar. It's all just like hands or demons. So, yeah, I don't know. But the cover B for this is where we have kind of like Phoebe in the front. She looks like a flamenco dancer.
Yeah.
She's got her little red flower. She's got her little red top and her red pants, and she's like, ooh, cha 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 cha. Like, I don't know. And then we have Piper in her purple, and she's doing like Lady Deathstrike hands.
Yeah.
And then like there's like, I guess presumably Paige orbiting in the background where all these demons are and swirling. Which, you know, yeah, that's cover B.
It's interesting.
That said a lot.
And then, interesting. And then there's cover C, which is just stock season 8 shot of Holly on the black background, and ta-da. All right, so let's get into this issue.
All right, let's do this. France, 1522. We see like a palatial. Is this palatial, right? Like big.
It kind of looks like, I don't know. To me, it looks like the Louvre. It looks like, you know, like the pyramid view right there.
You're right. I learned that pyramid was only built in like the 80s. I thought it's been there forever.
Isn't it crazy? I know.
Yeah. So we hear somebody talking. They said, "We are very excited to see what you have brought today, Usta." Usta. We see, it looks like a queen sitting on a throne going, "Your work is always so beautiful." And then Usta's like, "Well, your majesties, I only create what I feel. And your generous patronage has given me such inspiration." And then in comes like a Page, not that Page, but like a Page holding the statue. And he drops it with a thunk. And then he's like, "Your majesty." And then the king, I think they both have the same hair. The king is like, "Yes, well, this looks like quite the piece." And then Usta goes, "Many months I have labored over it."
I think that same hair is the back of the chair. I think that's why.
It is, you're right. Why you gotta make me feel stupid or something?
But it does look like hair. It's like, oh, we got the Jerry curl. Like, but isn't that funny? Because you're giving Djall a French accent this whole time, and how fitting that he's actually from France. So
yeah,
keep on with it.
How do you say his name? Djall.
Djall.
Djall. Okay.
Yeah.
Djall. Okay.
Like, hey, Djall.
So, hey, Djall. Okay, yeah. So Djall is on top of this wagon, and there's a something that's wrapped up, and Usta is yelling at him, "Move, Djall." Move, Djall. And then the next we have Djall pulling down the curtain or the wrapping around whatever this thing is as the queen looks on, and someone off says, "I can proudly say that it is one of my best creations, Usta." We have a beautiful blonde girl who's looking on with longing eyes. Djall meets her gaze, I'm going to assume, and off camera, Usta says, "Now if my apprentice would just..." Whoa! Djall falls. He grabs onto the drapings of this thing, and take it away, Kevin.
And the statue is revealed, and it is a statue of the king. Ooh. And then the queen is like, "This is beyond expectation." Ooh. The king is just like a gasp. And then the girl that he locked eyes with, who they shared a sexy glance with each other, is like, oh. And then just stare at it.
All I hear in my head in this scene is Grimsby saying, "A very large, very expensive birthday present."
Yeah, exactly. It's also so sudden.
So glad we're all Disney nerds.
Yeah.
So then Usta goes to help Djall up, and he says, "Thank you, Your Majesty." And then the king gets up with his jerry curls, and he's like, "Truly a remarkable achievement." And Djall looks very humble. He's very like, "Oh, I want to say thank you, but I cannot. I have to keep it inside." And then the king goes to Usta and goes, "Tonight we celebrate this wondrous sight, Usta, and your outstanding talent." And then Usta goes, "It would be my honor, sire. Djall will take care of everything." And then the pretty blonde looks back at Djall and says, "Truly remarkable work, Djall."
Gasp! She knows.
Gasp!
Now, Djall is in his own little room, and he's at his desk, and he's pissed off. And he says, "How could Usta do it again? Again!" Now Djall is very sad, very introspective, and he goes, "I will never be seen as anything but an apprentice. He's passing my work off as his own." Now Usta down the stairs, and he yells, "Djall, my boy, help an old man out." Puts his arm around him. "You did a fine job today, save for that fall. Don't embarrass me like that again, boy." And he grabs him by the collar. He lets him go, and he goes, "Now get me a drink."
Oh,
Ooh.
Djall's
Bitch.
Usta's bitch. Yeah.
yeah.
We hear Usta. He's like, "You should have seen their faces, Djall." He's like, "Yes, I should have," as he pours a drink, which I don't know. What is this? Do they have coffee in 1522? Probably not. I don't know what this is.
Wine, maybe?
Something,
wine, perhaps?
maybe wine.
Oh, probably wine,
black,
yeah.
some black wine in the shadows. And he's like, "The queen was thrilled with the sculpture." And then we hear Djall go, "My sculpture!" as Usta drinks. He's like, "What?" And then he's like, "What did you say, boy?" And then Djall punches blood out of Usta's mouth. He's like, "I said it was my work." And then Usta says, "Now see here. Djall says, "My work. You pass off as your own." And he has like this really evil, kind of angry grin as he's like covered in blood.
So I wonder, because I thought it was blood at first too, but I wonder if it's wine. Like, do you think he didn't hit him, but he's like,
maybe
shielding himself?
The wine, you can see the wine in his drink, and the color of what's coming out of him are different.
Yeah. I think it's blood.
Yeah.
Okay. Because on the next page, he's pulling the cup back, and it looks red.
Oh, you're right.
Fair.
Yeah, that's my investigative skills. I can't talk.
I mean, and he did just drink, so it could be the wine. But maybe they're doing that to like be double entendre, like to keep you on your toes. So
I know, because it looks like blood. It looks like he hit him, but I'm second guessing it now. But this is very like Spanish novella, like even especially the way we're reading it.
So dramatic.
Yeah.
Usta.
Scandaloso.
When I found you, you had nothing. You were sketching whores. Well, we say sex workers now, Usta, on discarded parchment. I gave you a roof over your head, a bed, and a purpose. And then Djall goes, "Yes, a purpose to line your pockets. You were once the great master Usta, but you pissed your talent away on drink. Now you cannot even hold a chisel without shaking. So you use me as your hand, so others do not know how far you have fallen." Here's where we get like MCU. Usta's like, "You ungrateful little bastard," and he chuds Djall right in the face. Chud. And then Djall is on the ground composing himself. And then Usta says, "I give you a home and you treat me like this? Where is the gratitude? Go
Sarge yourself.
Go Sarge yourself, you ungrateful bastard.
Sounds naughty.
I know. Go Sarge yourself.
What is
They
Sarge?
didn't have Google back then, so they said go
I
Sarge
think
yourself.
yeah, I guess that means go yourself. I don't know.
Is Kevin looking it up?
I am looking it up. It's it's a yellow or brown stone used in jewelry.
Oh, here you go. What does
to have
Sarge
sexual
mean in
intercourse with a
Old
woman.
English? Yeah. So it does mean go jerk yourself off.
Okay,
There you go.
Sorry.
Good. It's accurate. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next page. We see Djall painting in his little sunlit room. There's a knock on the door, and it's that beautiful blonde girl from the 2 pages prior. And he goes, "My lady," and she goes, "Is your master home?" And he goes, "No, but do come in." She looks at him and goes, "The queen sent me." And he goes, "I would assume so." And then he looks at her and goes, "What business would you have here on your own?" And then she hands him a box and wrapped up in brown paper. And she goes, "Fabric, your majesty wishes it be dyed to match the painting Master Usta created last month." And he goes, "I will pass this on to him." And she looks, "Do not be coy, Djall. I know that you were in here starting yourself." I'm kidding. That's not what she said.
I can tell. It smells like sex and candy in here.
I can help.
And then she's like, "We both know who does the work here." Djall says, "You seem to be the only one." And then she's like, "I despise the way he treats you." And he's like, "But I am but a mere apprentice, or so I'm told." And then she touches Djall's face. She says, "The queen is very kind to me. She will listen to me. I can tell her the truth about Usta, and it will be all good and everything." And then Djall's like, "No, do not. It will only anger Usta and make things worse." And then she's like, "Usta should suffer for what he does to you." And then she touches his cheek and little sparklies come out. "Ooh, what does this mean? Sparklies." And then Djall says, "One day he will suffer. He will be, have to atone for his sins or whatever. But now I am an apprentice, so I can't do anything." And then she gives him a little sassy look. She's like, "Someday, maybe sooner than you think, my lord." This is actually going to be our power play.
Power play.
Power play. This is an interesting power because today's power play is power granting. Power granting is the ability to bestow powers to another being. Power granting can refer to one or multiple powers of varying effect and strength. It can be permanent or temporary, with the possibility that the grantor can take the powers back at any time. Power grantors cannot use the powers on themselves without help, though, so that's interesting too.
Like that.
Yeah. This is something that exists throughout media in general. It's like a TV trope called super empowering. There are 5 variants of this. There's characters that are so powerful that they can give fragments of their power to others. And in charmed context, I'm going to say like avatars or zodiacs. There's a character that can gift the entirety of their power to another. So like what Father Thomas did, the empath gift of Inzeris, or Ramus transferring his powers to Kevin in Witches in Tights. You can also like supercharge someone else's existing powers with a combined energy attack, or like an amplifier artifact. So kind of like what Cole did after he got back from the Wasteland, and he gave Ronan, the Darklighter, the power to be immune to Piper's power and immune to the potions in Samayan. So that's kind of like that. Or when Paige granted Daryl powers through the spell, kind of similar to that. A character can turn another person into one of their own kind. So Nymphs, Furies, Banshee, Wendigo, stuff like that. Or there's advanced species that can tinker with someone's existence, genetics, soul, or similar to grant them abilities. So that's like the Elders. They take someone who died and gave them White Letter powers or whatever, or Elder powers, or if you get promoted. It is uncommon that someone would have this power just exclusively and be his only power, unless they were like a living MacGuffin or just a support. So like Kevin, when he had the power to like make whatever he drew come to life. So that he was more of a MacGuffin. Because he could have given anybody any power he wanted, anything he thought of. So that would be a version of that. And there's a limitation that you may only be able to awaken or unlock dormant powers. So, for example, if someone isn't a witch or who doesn't have the X gene, they can't be empowered. Maybe something like that. Ta-da! Power granting.
Love that. Love that. We love power granting.
Yeah. So this one, she touched him, did something to him. We don't know yet what yet, but
and we see Djall is working on a statue. It's funny though, the statue's like a woman and like her boobs are so far apart. You could tell like this is a model laying down.
Oh my god!
Right. Yeah.
She's just stretching her just back stretch.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah.
So Usta's behind him and he's like, "Do not think you can fool me, puta. I saw you tried putting your initials on that piece." And then it fast forwards to Usta presenting the statue and the king going, "Gorgeous." By the way, this statue is like so contemporary. I do not believe this would be 1500 France.
No.
And we see Djall is hiding in the shadows and he's unhappy that Usta's getting all the credit. And we see he's watching as Usta's like partying with the big boob chicks and eating the good food with the good grapes. And then,
and the wine looks black again.
So yeah,
it does.
Dark colored
Right.
wine, dark wine.
I love this sad like Djall image of him like sitting alone with a piece of bread. Like, I have nothing.
My bread and water by candlelight.
Yeah. And then we see the queen like, "My word," because another of Djall's paintings has been revealed and Usta gets the credit again. And then, okay, this picture's wonderful. Djall laying in the fetal position, sucking his thumb, as the blonde, like, shadowy figure comes in and it's like, "I despise the way he treats you. Usta should suffer for what he's done to you."
There's a little rat.
Djall. Huh? Oh yeah, there is a
little rat. Yeah. And I thought he was coughing here, not sucking his thumb, but sure.
He's probably coughing, but it looks like he's sucking his thumb. That's funny that Out Today is also solving for eggs, where we had that random rat scene.
Rat in the tree.
It's so weird.
There you go.
She's like, "Kill him, Djall. Usta must die." And then Djall sits up and goes, "Gah!" And then he goes, "Yes, Usta must die." And his eyes are all like red and he's all like morphing right here. And then the shadowy figure goes, "Good, Djall. Listen to your old friend, Maisie." So she has a name.
Maisie.
I try to stay evil.
Sinister.
So essentially she just turned Djall into a demon by touching his
Yeah.
face.
Full stop.
That's crazy.
Full stop. Yeah. Powerful Maisie. You'll never forget that name.
I was gonna do a word of the day of like this spell to turn you into a half demon, but I was actually a little like, I don't know if I want to read this out loud.
Yeah, scary stuff.
Yeah, I know.
So on the next page, we see Djall chipping away at a statue, and Usta is counting his coins, and he looks at him and goes, "If you behave this month, I may give you something to fix those trousers of yours."
He counts his money like Ebenezer Scrooge over here.
Ebenezer Scrooge. Djall's Tiny Tim. So now Djall grabs his, what is that thing? That's was it a whittler? What would you call that? That little mortal and pester? I don't know.
Chisel?
A chisel. Wow. I should have known what chisel. Wow. Yeah. So he grabs his chisel. I called it a mortar and pestle. Grabs his chisel. And off camera, he goes, "What? Nothing to say today, boy?" And Usta drinks his assuming wine, spits out the black wine, and why did he spit it out, Kevin?
And then he looks behind him like a little sad puppy dog, and he's like, "What did I do? What happened?" And he's been stabbed by the chisel, and this is really blood over here.
Yep.
No denying that. So he's been stabbed in the back, literally, by Djall. And then he's like, "Ooh," and then he falls to the floor, and I guess he's dead. And then Djall's like, "Finally, it is done." And then out of nowhere, Maisie's face comes behind him, and she's like, welcome to a whole new world, Djall.
Ah. Do you think Usta told Djall to fix his trousers because he's been sarting too much?
Maybe. And, Usta's hat looked like a little turtle to me, like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle on his head.
Back at the manor, only we're back now. We see Piper and Febois sitting on a couch. Okay, yeah, no, just kidding. And Piper's like, try her cell phone again. And Phoebe's like, I've left 6 messages. What about Shayna? Maybe she's heard from Paige. And Piper's like, good idea. And I'll try the witch scrying spell again. So as they start doing the spell, we see some beautiful Orbeez coming in behind them. And it's Leo. And she's like, anything? He's like, nothing. I can't sense her anywhere on this plane. And then she's like, which means what? And he's like, that was pretty fucking straightforward, Piper. And we see Phoebe on the phone, and we hear her say, hi, Shayna, it's Phoebe. And she goes, Febois? And then she says, have you heard from Paige? You've been calling for her? And she's like, for over an hour. I'm cut, and I need...
And then Phoebe goes, a demon attacked you? And Shayna goes, no, I was clumsy with a box cutter, but it still hurts. And Phoebe goes, okay, we'll call us if you hear from Paige.
It's so like assholery. Like she's like, oh, you're hurt. Oh, too bad. Okay, sorry. You go fuck yourself, Shayna. We won't come here and heal you.
Yeah.
Your hand's bleeding out, but it wasn't by a demon, so good luck, sis.
So, oh, too bad.
Sorry, sis. So now our next panel, we have a bring, and Piper goes, what now? And Lee goes, maybe it's Paige. Piper picks up, Sam, this isn't good. And then on the other end, Piper. And then next panel, we see a crash, and Sam is on the ground, also in semi-fetal position.
Well, this is Marlene.
But it's not Sam. Alas, It's Marlene.
It's tomfoolery.
Gotta get to P3, like now, Piper. Marlene, what's wrong? They're crazy. I called the cops, but they're acting crazy too. Piper, I'll be right there. Piper goes to Leo. Leo, stay here and wait for Paige. Phoebe, you're with me. Leo asks, what's going on? And Piper goes, I think there's a demon attack at the club. Come on. Leo, call us the second Paige.
And actually, we have a you look familiar moment at this bottom panel.
It's funny, she's so familiar to me, though. Reminds me of this old stray that used to hang outside my loft.
Familiars. That's what I'm looking for.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
This picture of Phoebe is taken from the 17 magazine shoot where Alyssa was having the Book of Shadows open in front of her. Remember that picture from season 4 with the 17, and she has the Book of Pages in front of Book of Shadows in front of her with the Guardians and the Handfast scene on there? That's like what this is from. Yeah. Yes, the side. It's the side. And their hair is the same spoopy things. Yeah. That's what taken from that picture for sure. That 17 photo shoot had a lot of really great pictures. I have the copy of that 17 over there. But lots of really great photos from that. I think it's George, I forget the guy, the photographer. But when we get there, we'll get there in this podcast when we speak the magazines. So good. But yeah, you look familiar. Sean's just like, oh my god, these people are crazy.
I know. I'm like, this is a whole new crazy right now that you remember things from 17 magazine.
Yeah, it's not even a promo photo. It's just you know. But it's a very famous shot. They included it with Box of Shadows.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here imitating it like this. So she's like,
yeah, exactly. We know. All right. Yeah. So the next page, we see Piper and Phoebe head out the door of the manor, and they go, Paige, you're there in front of us. And then Piper's like, where have you been? and Gabe is with her too. And Paige is like, Djall attacked us at Gabe's place, so we got out of there. Gabe, it's Gabe.
There you go. I was confused. Yeah. I was like, who's Gabe?
Yeah. And then Piper's like, Gabe, so he knows. And then Paige is like, that I'm a witch? Yeah, we got one over that. Okay, cool. And then they kind of go huddle like, okay, let's get together. Put our heads together. Okay, then. Gabe, stay here with Leo. Paige can orb us over to P3. Phoebe got the potions? Check. Yeah, we got the plan. And then Paige says, I I think Djall did something to me because I can't orb. Oh, and then, and then Piper's like, fine, I'll drive. Come on, as they all go. So the sisters go while Gabe stays there with Leo.
So on the next page, we're in the underworld with the real Paige, but she's not standing up. She's sitting down, and she's saying, "It'll be okay, Gabe. My sisters will find us, and everything will be okay, or be back to normal in no time." And then we see what it's supposed to be, Elise.
She's like being squished.
I can't with Elise. She looks like a teenage boy in a bad wig.
Yeah.
Hey, Paige. You're Paige, right? Phoebe's sister? She's like, Elise, what are you? And she's like, how did we get here? Where's here? This would make a hell of a story if I knew what was going on. You get it, Mama. Always on that story. The J. Jonah Jameson of charm.
Yeah.
And then Paige is like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, sister, but hell is a really good guess.
It's like, you are on it.
Yeah.
You must be a very good reporter.
Yeah.
So now we're in P3, and Piper, Phoebe, and a fake Paige / Paige possessed are walking down the stairs, and Piper looks, what the hell? And there is Elise, and I don't know who this is supposed to be. Who is this gentleman?
That's Sam. He's just a P3 worker.
Oh, that's Sam. That's Sam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Forgot. So Phoebe goes, what are you doing here, Elise? And Piper goes, Daryl? What's going on? Where's Daryl, though? I do not see
That's
him
what I'm
anywhere on this
saying.
page. That's why I got confused. I was like, was that supposed to be Daryl? And I was like, where is Daryl?
I think she's supposed to be behind whoever Phoebe's head, somewhere on the other side. But it's weird that they would mention his name and not show him.
Right. That's why I was like, was that supposed to be Daryl next to Elise with the bad bangs? I don't know.
Right.
So back on track. So now Sam / Daryl goes, we just came to join the party. And his eyes and Elise's eyes are red, and then they throw energy balls at them.
And the next page we see, this is like such a sexy shot, because like you see Piper just like dodge the energy ball, and Phoebe's like with her, like dodging, they go behind a table. Phoebe's boobs are way out, which is totally very on charmed brand. I think, what was the episode? she's running across the street.
And they were like Lachey on the Blue Moon episode.
Yeah. And she just boobs jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's what this is. But yeah, so they hide behind the table, and Phoebe's like, looks like Djall got to Paige. And then Piper's like, great. How many potions do we have? And Phoebe's like, not enough for this crowd. She's like, it may be time for a retreat. And then Piper's like, and we don't have the power of 3. And then we see possessed Paige, demon Paige, going, come on, girls. We've waited a long time for this. And they all have energy balls, Marlene and Sam and Paige. And then they go, Leo!
And what is probably the most odd page in this whole comic, I get the honor of going through. Add this to your Leo is bisexual book, because
thank you.
We have Leo sitting on the table, leaning forward, going, Piper, because he hears her. And Gabe is sitting back with his leg sexily crossed, going, what is it?
What is it? Oh, what is it?
What is it? And then Leo's so like nonplussed. He's just like, oh, the girls are under attack. Suddenly, Gabe is taking Leo from behind. And he's like, oh, What are you doing? Oh, I have to help them. And then Gabe's like, you're going to have to help yourself first. I'm about to come. And then we see Leo running as Gabe like is shooting an energy ball at Leo's butt. Like, what went wrong here?
This running away that was so funny. He's like, you know what reminded me of? This is the Jurassic Park in the kitchen running away from the Velociraptors.
Yeah, you're right.
Leo can orb. Like, why didn't he just orb away from the energy ball?
Yeah.
Instead, he's running.
Right.
Yeah, because Leo wants to play catch me with Gabe because Leo's
right.
Leo's
we do have a You Look Familiar on this page though too.
Have we met before? You look familiar.
That picture of Leo looking like the girls are under attack, that is from a season 2 promo picture. So that's where they drew it from. It's the one where he's in like that kind of sweater with the lines on it. I can't, it's like the bluish gray sweater has the white lines on it. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
I don't know that one. I gotta go look that one up. I don't know that one. I don't think. I gotta look it up.
I'm
disappointed in myself.
Pull it up for you.
Everybody knows that one, Nugent.
Here, I'll pull it up. When I show it to you, you'll know what it is. Where is it? There it is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I know the photo. I know it. Yep.
So, totally drawn from that.
Yep, 100%, definitely. All right, my Paige. Okay, no pun intended. So, we have evil Paige with demons behind her, and there's energy balls everywhere, and the demon goes, let's just kill them. And then Paige says, have a little patience, ... Let's enjoy this moment. And then Piper, damn it, Leo. And then Phoebe, plan. Piper goes, I'm thinking, freezing the room won't work. There's too many of them, and they're too fast. Then Piper goes, but I'm not going out without a fight. And then Phoebe goes, me neither. And they fill their arms with tons of potions and step out from behind the table that they're cowering behind.
And the final page has Piper and Phoebe with their potions in like a battle stance as all these demons come after them. And then we see like this swirly swirl. And it's like someone's like spying on them through a portal or some kind of scrying or divination or whatever. And it's Djall watching them. And then we hear a voice. It's Maisie. She's like, I would not gloat just yet, Djall. And then he says, I think I've earned that right. And they, with their demon eyes, their red demon eyes, very popular this issue. And she says, if you were as invested as you say, you would be in that melee with the rest of them. And then he's like, I shed my blood creating these portals, Maisie. Every moment I control them takes my energy. So every little painting portal, every little whatever this is that's doing the demons, slowly are like draining his energy, which is interesting. And so he's like, let the lesser demons give as much to the cause. Let them be slaughtered instead of me, because I'm not ready to fight yet.
Oh, I get it now. That's where there's a special paint that he brought to Gabe because his blood's in the paint.
His blood.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See? All right, so that's the end of that issue. What are we thinking?
What are we thinking?
I would say to me, this was the weakest out of the 4. I mean, I like that we got into Djall's backstory. I wish it was a little more like dynamic. I don't know. It's kind of like a weak backstory to me. Like it gives reason, but it's not like he was super wronged. He was just stolen from. So I like that we're building in story. I still like the overall story. I just think this could have been done better.
Yeah, half of the issue, maybe more than half of the issue, was just his backstory, and it still was very light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could have gotten this quicker.
Yeah.
There's too much Usta, I think, in this.
I agree.
And too many examples of him being you only need to do it once. I don't want to show it again and again. So almost like they're doing filler, I guess, of that. Does that make sense? They're trying to fill pages.
Yeah.
So I get that. I was interested in the story, but it was kind of repeating itself.
So this is just a general comment about this story arc and the Dynamite comics as a whole. I thought it was a fun issue. I think that there was too much of the Djall backstory. But overall, and this is just again my personal feelings on 1,000 Deaths, it's super fun, right? It's a super fun comic, but whether you think it takes, Kevin and I have talked about this. I think it takes place in season 5. He thinks season 4, right? And regardless of wherever you place this story arc, right? It's in the middle of a season. So my issue with the 1,000 Deaths in general is that the stakes aren't that high because they can't be that high because it has to remain within the confines of already established canon, right? So like nothing serious is going to happen to Piper, Phoebe, or Paige. They're going to resolve it. And that's just kind of my feelings, reading these issues, especially 4, because I felt like 4 was the slowest of them. And that's my take.
Yeah.
Good point.
I do think like near the end, the pace started to pick up because the expectations of the sisters were constantly subverted over and over. So it did start to gear up near the end, but it took a while to get there.
Yeah, it definitely took a while to get there.
So we kind of hinted at it, but put that in my canonical hat.
Canonical.
Give me the lowdown. Give me the rundown, Nugent, about what you think is canon.
We've talked about this. So and I'm gonna and here's my and I am probably in the minority on this. But hear me out, and I have reason for saying this. So follow me down this charmed rabbit hole, right? Okay. I like to believe all the comics are canon, right? And like obviously 9 and 10, whatever, it came after the show. But the Dynamite comics, I like to believe that they're canon. And it takes a little bit of some mental gymnastics to fit them into the canon. But, okay. We know in season 5, Sam I Am, Paige gets her first her first charge as a white lighter. Charge as a white lighter, and that would be Sam, her father, right? And then in this comic, right, Paige already has a charge. So we know it's not her first one. So we know this comes after Sam I Am. And then when the show was airing, between Sam I Am and I believe it was E2 Mummy Tambien, there was like a month or 2 break, right? And when the show came back for the next episode, Piper had her baby bump. That was like the B storyline. Well, Piper doesn't have a baby bump in this. So this, for me, squeezes right in between those 2 episodes and that weird little time gap that the show wasn't airing. And I say this all the time to recently to Kevin, I think Paige's hair is a shade of red, which would put it squarely in season 5 between Sam I Am and E2 Mummy Tambien. And that time gap that the show went on hiatus. That is my explanation.
Yes. And so I looked through these, I'm like, it is interesting because Paige's hair is colored slightly different than Piper and Phoebe's. You see, all of them have like a dark base. They do have a dark base, but Piper and Phoebe have like a light brown shading in there, while Paige's is rosy. So I see it's for me, it's like some kind of a cross between her season 4 and season 5 hairstyle. It's almost like she's bridging the gap. So I agree. Interesting. Let me give you my theories now.
Okay. Yeah.
See, I believe the logical place for this to be is between Womb Raider and Witch Ray Now. So it's between the last 2 episodes of season 4.
Interesting. Okay.
Because Phoebe works. I mean, the only thing with that wouldn't work is the charge thing. Paige having a charge. That's the one thing that doesn't fit into it. So I would just call that a canonical error. But so Phoebe works at the Bay Mirror. We know that's very, very new for her. And she does mention in the past issues, she's like, Cole is gone as far as she knows. So if you put it in season 5, Cole is to be around somewhere there.
Right. But if you remember, in E2 Mummy Tambien, he was off having a mental breakdown. So maybe prior to that, in that weird little time gap, he was off doing his thing someplace.
Okay. Perhaps. But yeah, Phoebe works at Bay Mirror. Cole as far as gone as she knows. And this moment too, this will be right after Phoebe lost her baby. So Phoebe would no longer be pregnant at that time. But it's also before Piper knows that she's pregnant. She would be pregnant, but she wouldn't know she's pregnant. So it could fit between those 2 episodes too, just without the charge thing.
Right. My vote is still 5. My vote is still 5. We're out on this one.
To me, Paige's hair is still dark enough. That's not quite the season 5 hairstyle.
So, as someone who is used to judging things, myself, Michelle Visage, I would say Nugent, Shantae, you stay. Kevin, sashay away.
Rude.
Nugent had better arguments.
I'm curious what Erica will say when you have her on.
Yeah, because Paige's hair doesn't match to me. It's not rosy enough. It's not rosy enough. Because season 5, she has that full on crazy clown red hair.
She does.
This is too dark.
I'm very curious what Erica will say, because that'll be the final judge.
Yeah, and part of it too is because I read based on what Erica said. That's part of why I'm choosing where I'm putting it there too, based on what she said.
Okay.
Because Erica said that she put it in season 4 with elements of season 5. That's her direct quote from her.
Interesting. And this is not to knock. This is not to knock. Again, it's a great story. It's a fun story. But that was kind of like my issue when I was reading these, the Dynamite comics in general, even the manga, was that I felt like Dynamite ran fast and loose with the canon.
Absolutely.
Fast and loose with the canon, whereas Zenescope was more like, you can't do this, you can do this, this fits within the canon, it's already been established.
Mm-hmm. And so really, it's all about anybody can figure it out how they need to figure it out.
Right.
I do have some other things in here for canonical just in the issue itself. Piper says in P3 that freezing the room won't work, when in fact it should have, provided that the demons weren't immune or resistant to the freezing power. Because how many times has Piper said, "I'll freeze all the innocents in the room"? She can do that.
Right.
So she's like, "There's too many of them." I'm like, "No, if they're all in the same room and you're in the same room, it should be fine."
Right. Agreed. I picked up on that too. Yeah.
And I'm still mad that Elise has blonde hair, because her hair was never that blonde.
Never. And Leo's wasn't really that blonde either, to be honest.
No.
I also really don't love Elise's bangs. I'm a big believer that bangs are not a choice. So I don't know who cut this woman's hair, but she should sue.
So yeah, and then like, why wasn't Daryl there? Why mention Daryl if you're not gonna put him in there? That makes no sense to me.
Right.
Well, and
but apparently he was possessed.
You're gonna use the name Sam and Daryl, and if it's not referring to Daryl and he's not there, I don't know. It was messy.
It's confusing. It's confusing.
It's almost like they're just putting it in there to put it in there when they don't need to.
Yeah, just like it's like almost like fan pandering. Like, look, we mentioned Daryl, a fan favorite, like that.
Cool. So next is tips for future white lighters.
Oh, we're really just messengers, guides. Think of us as guardian angels for good witches.
Tips for future white lighters.
I was out being a force of good in the universe.
What's the moral of this story?
Be better with your canon? I'm just kidding.
Wow. Says the guy who likes the reboot.
Yeah, obsessed with the reboot. Yeah. In the event that Kevin and we don't do the reboot rewatch, spoiler, supposedly Phoebe uses her powers to make like a blockbuster. That is truly what happened.
I know.
Kevin, you know about this. So you want to talk about fast and loose canon. Yeah, Phoebe makes a blockbuster to help out.
I was like, let's have this white room full of old VHS tapes that were premonitions. I'm like, okay.
Yes, it's a little weird. I'm not gonna lie.
And then we put the VHS tape in the TV, and we can see a premonition and go into the. I'm like, all right, this is a lot.
Yeah, Phoebe could have used her powers in so many different ways, but instead she sent messages on VHS tapes via a blockbuster. So, go figure.
And there's like 7 days.
Moral of this issue is to, I think, not let your anger get the best of you.
Yeah.
And don't give in to your envious feelings. That's my take.
Okay, Sean.
Yeah, my take is similar. Like, this all comes down to Djall, and his art is being stolen from him, and he's letting it happen, and it causes this whole thing. He gets turned into a demon for it, and it's not worth it. Like, stick up for your art.
Yeah. I put, listen to your own advice and take it to heart. I know it can be hard to break out of a habit on a whim, but try to take time to assess and have reinforcements. And I say this because last issue, Leo's like, he told them, like, screen your guests very carefully. It could be anybody. And then all of them are like, oh, it's Paige and Gabe. Okay, come on in. I mean, understandably, they were pretty convincing. They did a good job. She's like, I guess Djall took my powers away. I don't know, So I'm like, okay, they must have thought this through, but still, it's just, and I get, like, in a situation like this, it's you want to trust who you want to trust. Like, here's normal to you, and you have a habit of trusting those people. But it's like moments like
Very
these where you have to take the people closest in your life that you should be most suspicious of, because that's who they'll target. So
Agreed.
It just seems like they let their guard down too easy.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, next is onomatopoeia. All the ones in here we've seen before, we had before. So I'm gonna say chud.
I'm not sure, Sean. What do you think?
I got a little more excited than I should have when the phone said bring, because it wasn't Bing Bong.
Yeah, I like bring too. I like bring too.
Yeah.
Bring was a good one. I think shard should have also had its own sound effect, or sard. I think that should have had its own sound effect.
Yeah, go sard yourself.
I think sard should have had a sound effect. I'm just saying.
It's like. Yeah. Anyway, so what is the most valuable panel?
That's hard. Really liked the panel when the girls are coming down the stairs in P3. I just thought the coloring was really beautiful. I like the purples and whatnot. I also like the panel where they used Alyssa's 17 photo.
Yeah.
I just thought, again, the coloring was great. The likenesses were on point. And anytime you get to see the manor doors in the background are just A+. So yeah, I like those panels.
So I thought mine was a little random, but it's actually the same as Nugent's. The girls coming down the stairs. Same reason, the coloring, the positions. I even like the detail. Maybe this is me reading into it, but Paige has a look on her face. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
no, it's definitely there.
She's totally in on it.
She's like,
and she knows it.
It's like, think they'll get what's coming to them.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. I put Djall punching Usta in the face because he deserved that, and it was very satisfying for me.
Also, I feel like we should give Elise her dues, because the panel of Elise that cracked us all up with the wig bangs, that was great. That was great.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to the Elise panel. Just saying.
I mean, at least in this whole run is crazy funny to me. I mean, nothing beats "Damn It, Phoebe" from the first issue.
Damn it!
I mean, you can't beat that, but still, it's fun. Okay, sexiest drawing.
Oh, easy. Leo taking it from Gabe. Like that's unmatched.
Mine is easy also. Djall laying down, sucking his thumb. No, I find his statue so strangely sexy. The one with her arms behind her back with her boobies out. Like, it's a hot statue.
Yeah.
I'd rub up against it. I would start to it.
Or the Phoebe, I do think, all joking aside, the Phoebe and Piper coming out from behind the table, I just thought they were drawn, like, I just thought, like, it was just a beautiful drawing. I like the way they're posed. It's very, like, superhero-esque, and I'm a huge X-Men nut, so anything that's, like, that looks like they're superheroes getting ready to fight, I love. So, that one.
coincidence, that was my sexiest drawing pick. Piper and Phoebe dodging the energy ball and ducking behind the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very action hero, very, and Sean and I have an X-Men podcast too, so it works out. So there you go.
I'm a huge listen to me, Jean Grey Phoenix, she's my number one. I'm obsessed with her. Everything Phoenix.
Damn it, Phoenix! Cool. So now we're at issue ranking. Is this magically delicious, pretty witchin', a sorcerer's apprentice, disenchanting, or vanquishable?
Okay, I wouldn't say it was bad. I would just say it's mid. I'd give it good. A sorcerer's apprentice. Yeah.
Yeah, Sorcerer's Apprentice. I agree.
3 for 3. That's what I gave it. Sorcerer's Apprentice for me. So now we're at P is for Pole.
Prue? Piper. You mean it's just you and Prue, huh?
Phoebe? Phoebe, you there?
And a big hello to you too, Penny.
Come on, Patty. The rest is up to them.
Paige. My name is Paige.
Another P, imagine that.
P is for Pole.
And because this is our 100th episode, I decided to do a P is for Pole on Centennial Charmed, the 100th episode. So, Centennial Charmed, what was it missing? Say A, a more honorable send-off for Cole. B, Balthazar, since he technically was Balthazar, he should have made an appearance. C, Piper and Phoebe should have seen the alternate timeline and not just be like, hey, where were you? Or better execution, great concept, but half-assed. So, there's lots of really good options here. So I don't know. What's your pick?
Ooh, mine is. Can I throw my own little in there?
Sure.
I think I wouldn't say it was half-assed, but I definitely think that they could have leaned in. And this is just I think most fans would say this across the board. They could have leaned into Prue's death a little bit, or honored Prue a little more than just. The only reason why I'm here is so the same thing doesn't happen to Piper that happened to Prue, and you know it, right? That line from Phoebe, we could have gotten a little more of a Prue nod than just that. So,
right.
So I feel like we could have gotten maybe a little bit more Prue and Balthazar. I would go with the Balthazar one.
Yeah. I'm still mad that they got Paige's gravestone wrong. The date.
Oh, drives me nuts. I can't do enough mental acrobats to figure that one out. That's just it's fucked.
For me, I was going between two, Balthazar, or my one that I chose is that Phoebe and Piper didn't see the timeline. Because for me, the biggest thing that should have happened is Phoebe should have been the one to kill Cole, and not the Phoebe from the other Centennial dimension, like the actual Phoebe. Because that would have heightened his return even more. Like, she killed him, he's back, he still loves her. There could have been a lot more tension there.
Yeah, that's mine too. Just because, I mean, it makes sense that Paige got there first. They should have been able to do something to bring the other ones to that before the final confrontation, and maybe have more of a discussion, a debate, and bring up points and stuff. Where it's just like, oh, you're bad, you're always bad. Okay, I'm gonna kill you now.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
And it's just so weird because Paige gets back. She's like, "Hey, Cole's dead. Surprise!"
Oh, cool. Did you take out the trash too?
Yeah.
yeah. Paige, what did you do? And she gave like the Lucille Ball face, and then
Yep. So yeah.
Smash cut to the apartment.
So we'll see. It'll be fun. Cool. So we did it. Sean, tell us what's next.
So next up, we have, the tagline says, the first story arc of the cult favorite TV show turned comic concludes. That's a lie. We just went through 2 seasons of comics. So the first arc. Fuck you. Fuck you, Dynamite. But it says, the final showdown. With the power of 3 broken, how will the sisters defeat Djall and prevent the underworld from taking over our world? The Hollowell sisters still have a trick up their sleeves.
Hello, sleeveless.
Sleeveless, yeah. And the picture does show them all sleeveless.
New Jane gets it.
I got it. Yeah. Pre-witch. Pre-witch episode. One of the best.
So fun. Cool. So I guess we made it to the end. So Nugent, tell people where they can follow you and find you and see your stuffs.
Yes. Follow me at you can follow me. It's NJC3, but the 3 is written out, so NJCTHREE. On Instagram and Snapchat, and yeah, you can also add me on Facebook, Nugent Cantolino. There's not many Nugents out there with the first name, so I should be quite easy to find.
Yeah. Sean, where can they find you?
You could find me mostly on Instagram under Sean.Porrett. Porrett is Porrett. That'll take you to Solving for X, which is our passion project, which we are almost at the end of the original run.
Yeah,
Kevin.
I know,
That's
crazy. Oh, we'll be ready for 97 in no time.
And this week you can hear everybody's favorite episode, Jubilee's Fairy Tale Theater. Wow.
Yay!
What a banger. And you can find my Threadless and my book on there too.
Cool, L.
Cool.
Yeah, and you can follow this podcast at Words of the Witches, all the places: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Words of Witches on Twitter, and or my personal Instagram, KGZ87. So next week we'll be finishing up that issue 5 Dynamite before we go to a second episode with Erica. So
I'll be listening. I can't wait.
Yeah. So if you have any questions you'd like me to ask her, send them my way.
You know mine.
Yeah, spell words. If you have questions for Erica, send them my way. We will see you next week. Your destiny still awaits.